at Brother Abdullah, Dr. Abdullah Bukhari's house. Um, we're here live to get you some updates. Brother, my dear brother, my friend, my boy, has just came through from this important meeting that was done in the community here, mashallah, with all imams of the masajid getting together. Allah, that's a great thing that everybody's getting together to talk about this. This is important. So we'll get Brother Abdullah, the doctor, to let us know what's going on here today with the coronavirus and what the masajid has already came up with regarding tomorrow's prayer, inshallah, Salat al-Jumu'ah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu wa-salamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. So for those that are watching, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to my brother's hot, off the chain radio show, online media, where you get the real news live.
Forget about CNN. Forget about Fox. It's all here. You heard it here first. Bismillah.
So as far as the coronavirus, as a physician, just some things that people should be aware of if you're not aware of. It's a novel virus, which means that it's a virus that's new. It's changed. Although the family of these viruses has been there for years, hundreds of years, but this particular virus has a mutation, and it's causing it to last longer in people, and it seems to be affecting more of the elders and those that are immunocompromised. It doesn't seem to be affecting kids less than 15 years of age, but they do seem to be carriers of it. So if you're around a kid who's carrying it, you could get exposed to it. The problem with this virus is that you don't know if you have the symptoms until 5 days after the incubation period. So you may be carrying it and you won't get the symptoms until 5 days after. And once you get the symptoms, which is just like a common cold, but particularly we're seeing that patients that do have the coronavirus, their lungs are being affected more. And the virus is going and changing the structure of the lungs and causing fibrosis of the lungs, changing the whole structure of it. And so as a result, when it affects the lungs, people are unable to breathe and they need help breathing, like a ventilator. And so this virus multiplies. It's like 2 people get infected, then it goes to 4, then 4 goes to 8, 8 goes to 16, 16 goes to 32, 32 to 64. It's exponentially growing.
So it's doubling up every minute.
So it's doubling up. And right now in the state of Michigan, it seems like, I mean, the latest news that I read and I saw from the health department is that there's 2 cases in hospitals, and there's at least 10 or 12 people that have been confirmed with it.
Confirmed.
And now you multiply that. So really out there, there's much more than.
So in the hundreds almost, huh?
Potentially.
Allahu Akbar.
Potentially. And the way it's transmitted is through, respiratory droplets. So through droplets, somebody sneezes, somebody coughs.
Right.
Somebody has it on their hands. Also, interested in this virus, subhanAllah, one of the smartest viruses from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When somebody does sneeze, it stays in that vicinity for at least 6 hours. So if I was in a place and I sneezed and I have it, you came 2 hours later to that same area, you could potentially get.
So does it move with the wind? Does it?
Yeah, so it stays within that vicinity. It stays on the table. So if somebody sneezes on a musalla, like you're praying salah in a musalla, and somebody sneezes on that spot, somebody comes, prays at that spot,
they catch it. Subhanallah.
So it's staying about 6 to 12 hours in those areas, wherever it's been exposed. So it's a five-day incubation period, and it's lasting for at least 2 to 4 weeks, and some people are saying up to 6 weeks of being affected by it. And so if you are affected by it, the advice is that you are quarantined, which means that you have to stay put for at least 2 weeks in your house.
Give it to somebody else.
You don't give it to somebody else. The problem is that it's growing such an exponential rate. If you do get lung issue and you can't breathe, in the hospitals we only have so many ventilators.
Right.
In my hospital, we have about 25 to 30 ventilators.
That's it.
That's it.
Allahu
So if
Akbar.
you get 100 people that are affected by this, I can only support. And this is what's happening in Italy right now.
Mm.
The reason why Italy is in a epidemic, a pandemic now. Pandemic means global. This virus has gone global, and that is because Italy, majority of the people there are elderly. People that live in Italy and that have been affected, and it's growing exponentially, are the elderly people. And now, right now, I just in our imams meeting with prominent Muslim figures, prominent Muslim doctors, prominent Muslim imams, majority of the masajid, the imams met, and one of the doctors is on the board for the infectious disease control committee with Italy.
Right.
And he's getting constant updates right now. Dr. Qadri, Bassam Qadri, may Allah reward him and bless him.
I mean,
and he was telling us the doctors and the hospital system, they don't have enough resources. So they have to decide who's living and who's dying.
Allahu Akbar.
Like right now, decisions are being made. Okay, we have to really pay attention to this. And these types of incidences are reported in our sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One of the hadith is that Sheikh al-Masmari shared with us, and many of the imams shared with us during the meeting. And this imams meeting met, and we need to take initiatives, especially if Governor Whitmer is making decisions that's beneficial to all of our communities. For example, she just announced that she's closing all cinemas, do no harm, so that no one is harmed. We should be cognizant of this, that we don't affect other Muslims, and we open in programmings and the schools and daily activities and youth programs. What should we do with this? And at this meeting, it was narrated by the Prophet ﷺ that when people feared attending the salah because of rain, because of rain, the Prophet ﷺ would tell them to practice any such type of symptoms to attend the masjid and expose the public places, especially. Also, if you hear of a plague in a land, the Prophet ﷺ said, then do not go to that land. And if it happens that you are there, then do not go out of that land. So this is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that being said, majority of the imams decided that they will not hold Jumu'ah Salah.
Jumu'ah prayer
tomorrow on March 13th and March 20th.
So 2 weeks in a row, no Jumu'ah.
2 weeks, and no programming.
No programming, no activities.
And we will try to arrange online education, spirituality, and whatnot. Programming.
Okay. Who's going to be at home for 2 weeks. They're all getting prepared for that, mashallah.
Yeah.
Which is good. Especially now that the announcement has been made. Going crazy, you know what I'm saying? Everybody got to stay calm, take it easy.
So what should we do?
What should we do?
Number one, try to avoid being around people that are sick, obviously. Avoid shaking hands, hugging each other, kissing each other, especially in public places. If you have to shake hands, just elbow bump, fist bump.
Elbow, yeah.
Try to avoid that as if you can too. If you're sick, you should definitely be wearing a mask to limit your sickness exposure to others. Not sick and you're wearing a mask, it's plus or minus. It's not really protective.
Right.
There are special masks that we wear that you can't find in public.
Right.
They're called the N95 masks.
Well, that's especially at hospitals,
especially for us, the physicians that are on the front line of this. And those are protective, but otherwise, any other mask, it seems like. And so the best thing, according to all studies, all testing, and even all majority of the physician opinions, is that washing your hands,
of course,
for at least 20 seconds with soap and water, hands down, is the best.
MashaAllah.
Best way to prevent spreading of the virus.
Of the virus coming through.
So wash your hands. That's the key. And again, this is prophetic guidance that we are.
So every time you gotta make wudu, just wash your hands with soap.
Wudu is
and wash.
We've been telling people about wudu for like years.
Yeah, now it's become like you better do it.
Yeah, wudu
for real. SubhanAllah.
And I have ijaza in wudu.
MashaAllah.
Learn from somebody who learned from somebody who learned from somebody back to the Prophet
All of the
ﷺ.
Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
And in wudu, you spend at least 30 seconds with just your hands before you
Allahu Akbar.
even start the wudu.
Right.
People don't know
But
that.
yeah, you got to go in between the
The
fingers.
sunnah
You
of
got
the
to make
Prophet
sure here, you got to
ﷺ
go
was
there.
to wash each finger
Allahu
to the nail
Akbar.
tips, each one.
Mhm.
And he would spend time until each one rubbing the nails and rubbing the fingertips.
Yeah, it's not just running the water and getting, rinsing your hands.
yeah.
No, it's actually rubbing, making sure that water gets everywhere.
SubhanAllah.
Clean it up real good. Then your
Yeah.
mouth and stick.
Yeah, in general, our nostrils and our Allah created it in such a way that it protects us. It captures many of the dust, the bacteria, the debris,
The viruses.
and so when we rinse our mouth, we're actually washing that stuff out.
MashaAllah.
So in general, wudu is very hygienic, and there's many wisdoms behind it from a medical perspective. So yeah, in our nose, there's a lot of bacteria, a lot of viruses, a lot of debris that stores there, and that's why people sometimes get a lot of allergens. Even allergens get stored up there because of the nose hairs and the silly and whatnot. So that's why when you do wudu, you rinse your nose. Yeah. Absolutely,
right.
To clean that.
And even if you don't make it or you don't go to Salat Jumu'ah tomorrow, make sure you do the sunan of the Jumu'ah, taking the shower for Jumu'ah, reading Surah Kahf, praying with your family. Since you're the man of the house, or you're the father of the house, or whatever, you give them a good talk. You explain to them what's going on. You teach your kids, educate them, educate the family on what's going on. Prepare everybody for whatever it is. If it's going to be worse, prepare everybody mentally and make sure that the house is prepared. Clean up everywhere, and get this. Get this preparation going in the house.
Just using universal precautions. If you have to sneeze, sneeze into your arm, your shoulder, or into your tissue or a napkin. Don't shake people's hands. Avoid. If you're sick. There's a hadith in Sahih Bukhari where the person who is sick gets the reward of those deeds that he would have done had he had not been sick.
Right.
So Allah rewards you anyways. This is the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that inshallah Allah will reward us for Jumu'ah salah and the salah in Jama'ah if we have that niyyah. So Allah didn't make this deen very hard on us. He made it very easy.
Allahumma ameen. Allahumma ameen. Jazakallah khair. Barakallah feekum, everybody. So the updates here today that most of the masajid in Detroit have canceled the prayer of Salatul Jumu'ah, only Salatul Jumu'ah, just because it's going to be a big congregation. A lot of people are going to be coming in, and you never know who's infected or who's not. So that's why they all agreed that most of them are not going to have Salatul Jumu'ah tomorrow, except maybe two masajid, Masjid Dix and Masjid As-Salam, and also maybe Masjid Tawheed. So just so you know that, make sure that you check before you go, and if you have something or some kind of symptoms like that, just be careful, stay at the house, and maybe do they run to the emergency room or clog it up and get it all cluttered up, or just wait at home, check yourself out.
If you're able to handle your symptoms at home, that's the best. But if it gets to the point where you're unable to breathe and your breathing is being affected by it, then you should definitely call the hospital, your local hospital, that you're on your way and that you have this issue, so they can quarantine you right away. The testing takes about 4 days to get back. So many of us we're really treating you clinically. We don't know if you have the virus confirmed or not, because the testing just takes that long, and we have only so much testing samples and kits. If you want to get tested, you can even try your local health department, but definitely call your local hospital and let them know that, hey, you think you may have the virus and that you need that help, so they can triage you properly.
Inshallah. May Allah protect us all.
Telemedicine is another thing. If you want to go to the doctors, you want to get checked out, try telemedicine too. It's convenient and nice way to get at least checked out.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair. Barakallah feek, Brother Abdullah. And thank everybody who joined us, and spread the word. Make everybody know. Make sure that everybody know that Tomorrow is Jumu'ah and most of the masajid is canceled. A lot of the activities in the masajid and schools are canceled. Schools are canceled. That's right from the governor's Facebook and Dr. Abdullah for being with us at a short notice. Jazakumullah khair, everybody. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace.